Some outdoor myths might sound smart, but in the wild, they'll actually get you hurt, or even worse. Today we're going to break down 9 myths that I keep hearing repeated by people and actually talk about what does work. So the outdoor industry is full of misconceptions and just misinformation. Some of these are just Hollywood tips and tricks and things that we see on TV and movies that we take for reality. And then some of it is, well, it's just bullshit. So today we're going to take a look at a handful of them. Let me know which ones you have and haven't seen or heard yourself. You can drink water from a cactus. Older movies love this one. You get the cowboy who's lost in the desert, and they find a cactus and they cut it open to drink out the refreshing water that's inside. Sounds perfect, right? That's wrong. Only a few cacti, like the fishhook barrel cactus, have anything resembling like drinkable fluid, and even that can make you nauseous or even give you diarrhea. Most cacti contain like toxic alkaloids and things like that. It'll actually dehydrate you faster. So for the tip for this one, instead of improvising a water source, conserve your sweat. Move in like early morning hours, move in the late day hours where it's not quite as hot outside. Shade is going to be your best friend. Moss always grows on the north side of the tree. This one makes my eye twitch. This is a classic, and it's dangerous if you believe it blindly. Now, while moss can grow on the north side of the tree, at least in the northern hemisphere, it's going to grow anywhere where it's shady and damp. So you can have moss on any side of the tree depending on the local terrain and what the coverage is. So the tip on this one, use moss as a clue, but not as a compass. Learn actual real land navigation and terrain association and things like that. Fortunately, this is one that we don't have to wrestle with too much here in Texas. Rub snow on frostbite to warm it up. Now please don't do this. Frostbite is frozen tissue, and rubbing snow on it causes the little small ice crystals to grind against your skin and your muscle fiber, and that can cause permanent damage. So ideally on this, what you want to do is have that body-to-body contact to slowly warm the person back up, or even just slightly warmed water if you can get them out of the elements and into it to sort of slowly bring that person's body temp back up. You just don't want to go rubbing a bunch of ice and stuff onto an already frozen person. And one little side tidbit, if there's any chance of refreezing that appendage, don't even worry about rewarming it. It's just going to cause more damage. You can eat what the animals eat. So you see a little squirrel nibbling on some berries or a deer munching on leaves, so it must be safe for you to eat too, right? Nope, absolutely not. How many things can we eat that we can't feed our dogs? Quite a few of them. Animals have got completely different digestive systems than we do. Deer can process tannins, birds can eat berries that are toxic to humans, and some animals just build up an immunity to those things that would go through and probably put us in the hospital or worse. Because the number one foraging rule is, if you don't know 100% how to identify the plant, you don't eat the thing. Just follow a river and you'll find help. Now typically yes, but it's not that simple. Rivers can lead you to stuff like cliffs and canyons, or take you deeper into remote areas where you might be burning valuable calories or risking injury for nothing if it becomes impassable. Now if you can methodically work your way back out of the woods, that's going to be better off than just staying put, but in a pinch, staying put and working on signaling is going to be your better option if you can't do that. If you do signal, do so with like fire and movement or like really bright gear. Navigation is better when it's based off of actual landmarks, so preparation is key. I don't know how many times I hear this one. Plug a gunshot wound with a tampon. I hear this one all the time. Look, guys, tampons are made to absorb menstrual blood, not stop some kind of arterial bleeding from a gunshot. They don't apply enough pressure. They're simply too small. And even I hear it's better than nothing. I think I'd rather put my sock in the hole. It's just there's not enough material to it. They do work great for something like a nosebleed or their intended purpose, but not a gunshot wound. Carry an individual first aid kit or an IFAK that's going to carry something like hemostatic gauze and a tourniquet, and actually get the training to know how to use those things, because when lives depend on it, time matters and knowledge matters, and I don't want to be watching a YouTube video to figure out how to use these things when I've got someone bleeding out. So find at least a stop the bleed course in your area and take that. It'd be better than nothing. I'm going to be safe because I've got all this gear with me. All right, people love gear, and it is important. It makes things easier, but gear breaks down, gear gets lost. Skills and know-how are never going to be the heaviest thing in your bag. They're always going to be super ultralight. You're never going to lose them, well, short of getting bonked on the head or quite honestly, just getting old and forgetting things. But, stuff like fire starting with and without tools and improvised shelters and, some land navigation skills with map and compass and just some practical first aid skills. This is all stuff that's crucial. Learn it. Don't rely on just the piece of gear to carry you through. Invest in training and not toys. Skills are something that they're not going to expire. They're never going to leave you. It's always going to be there. Skills are portable, transferable, and reliable. So focus on those. Clear stream water must be safe to drink because it's moving. Okay, it's clear, it's cold, it's flowing, it must be safe, right? Not necessarily. Even pristine looking water can carry fun stuff like Giardia and crypto and E. coli from animals using the bathroom up the stream or dying in there. And these things can leave you violently ill and make you dangerously dehydrated in the wild. Never trust your eyes alone. Use a filter or a purifier or boil the water or use some kind of chemical decontamination technique to do it. It's too easy to make water safe to risk it by taking something and drinking something that's probably a little suspect or we're just not positive. So be safe. And I say the one that's the biggest pet peeve for me to dead last, and that is you can go 3 days without water. This so-called rule of threes says that you can survive 3 days without water, but in a real survival situation, that can be often a fatal assumption. I mean, you can't roam around Texas in the summertime, have any activity, and think you're going to be good to go at the end of 3 days, or even functional at the end of 3 days. In 100-degree heat, you can be dangerously dehydrated in just a handful of hours. High exertion, high altitude, humidity, all that stuff makes the timeline shorter. Even your state of how in shape you're going to be, all that stuff kind of shortens that window. You can't bank on 3 days being the number. So at the least, always plan on at least 1 gallon of water per person per day. Okay, so let's run these back. First, don't go drinking cactus juice. Just not smart. Don't trust moss or clear water. Don't think you can just eat whatever the animals are eating. We don't treat wounds with guesswork. And above all else, don't rely on myths. Survival is about truth, not just tradition. Okay, hopefully you guys found that beneficial. Do me a favor. I know you've heard some myths out there. Throw those in the chat below, and I might use those for the next video coming up. Because once I get a few more, I'll probably do some more of these. Right now, these were just the ones that stuck in my head. If you like this video, be sure to go through and smash the like button, share it, subscribe if you haven't done it, and we'll see you out there next time.